This is a video for a Honda CRZ. This is the GT version, top of the range car. It's a 60 plate, as you can see here, finished in black. It's been fitted with some really lovely OZ alloys on the car, which complement the black exterior absolutely superbly. The car was delivered to us with just under 80,000 miles. It's probably just crept over that now, as I've done a road test video on the vehicle, which should go online soon as well. The car's in really lovely condition. It's fantastic condition, this car. Been serviced all the way through. Due a service now, and that will be done by us prior to the car going out. I did the road test on the car last night and it drove absolutely as you'd expect a new one to. Condition wise, really good. I'll go around the car. Front tyres in really lovely order. Panel work generally is really good, considering it's a black car. You know, there'll be odd light little mark on the vehicle, which you can't get away with on a black car with this kind of mileage. But realistically speaking, it's really lovely. The flanks, as you can see, are really crisp. There's, you know, I can hardly really spot a dent on this side of the car at all. Rear tyres, really nice condition. Such a good looking car. There's a little, just to show down here, there's marks just here on the car which are going to be done by a professional company before the car is sold, so they will be sorted out. Whoever's had this car's kept it really nice. It's only had the 2 private owners from new, which is probably why the car's been kept in such nice condition. Tyre again on this side is really good, and the alloy again is in really lovely condition. So exterior wise, looking at the car, you know, not without the odd very minor blemish, but really speaking, it's in very good condition for its age and mileage. So coming into the back of the car here, plastics in the back of the car are in really good order. Again, a nice sign of ownership is the fact that they're fitted a boot protector there. You can see the original Honda CRZ accessories part. You've got your tonneau cover here which comes across, and if you want to drop the seats down, just push the tab forward and drop it down. Because it is really a 2+2 for very occasional use, most people have the seats down permanently, which then leaves you with a huge boot area for the car. Just to show you the passenger door card, it's in really good condition. There's no marks in there at all. The chrome handles in really lovely condition, no kind of major ring marks or otherwise on there. Sill area is all really good and all very original. Seat is in absolutely perfect condition. It's really lovely there. Very comfortable seats in the car. The car benefits from a set of Honda genuine mats as well. So come to the driver's door card. Again, absolutely lovely. So there's really lovely sort of 2-tone finish on the car. Looks really good and upmarket. Switches and door handle again absolutely perfect. Sill area all very good indeed, and the driver's seat is in really lovely condition, you know, regardless of the mileage. Even compared to the one I had, which had only done about 20,000 miles, and the seat's every bit as good in this one as it was in mine. As you can see up and above, we've got this lovely big glass panoramic roof, standard on the GT model, which you don't get on the sport versions, and you just pull the blind across to cover it over. So in the car now, engine is running. Just to quickly show you, we've got the full owner's manual pack for the car here, and you've got the lock and wheel nut key for the car, which is all good and in place in the car. Just scroll around the dashboard, it really is an absolute work of art in here. Very original, beautifully styled dashboard, and it's in absolutely superb condition. You're going to come and see the car, notwithstanding the miles it's done, it looks and feels like a much lower mileage car, and the 13-minute test drive that I've done on the vehicle only supports that. It drives exactly as you'd expect it to. But on here you've got this standard fit radio CD player, all really easy to use. Climate control system there, and then down here we've got the cubby holes, got a power outlet down there as well, and you've got the heated seats there, so just low or high for the driver's one, low or high for the passenger one as well. Coming across, we've got the multifunction steering wheel. On the top left hand side you've got the controls for the sorry about that, we've got controls for the audio system of the car, and this has, those are the top left hand buttons, the top right hand buttons are cruise control, then you've got the Honda hands-free telephone system and information display. Further up here, obviously dashboard, engine is running, there's no warning lights on the car apart from low fuel light. I'll just take the handbrake off just to show you that there's nothing untoward there at all. As you can see there, I've managed to just creep it above 80,000 miles on my road test last night. Coming across the side, we've got controls for the 3 different modes of driving. So you've got Econo here, you press that button there and it goes into economy. Press it back into the middle one, you're back into normal, and then sport, and then that brings up a lovely red hue, and it really does make a big difference. If you drive in economy mode, it'll soften the throttle control, the throttle pedal feel, lighten the steering, and encourage much more economical driving. In sport, it really sharpens the throttle response up noticeably. It becomes very, very sort of peppy and quick, and the steering weights up noticeably as well. I've got to be honest, I drive these in sport mode the whole time. Gain an extra 5 miles a gallon or so in economy and normal mode, but the reality is you're still getting 50 plus to the gallon in sport mode, and it's a brilliant car to drive when it's like that. But the car's all in absolutely fabulous condition. So top spec being GT, so obviously the leather and the panoramic roof, much more so than the sport versions. Coming under the engine bay now, a nicely presented engine bay. So this uses the Honda 1.5 litre engine and the IMA integrated motor assist hybrid system. Absolutely bomb proof. We've had no problems with these at all, even with much higher mileage cars. Beautifully engineered. Engine sounds louder here than on their video than it does in reality. Very quiet. And bear in mind that with this hybrid system, there's no plugging in or charging or anything. It does it all for you. Brilliant, really lovely car. Really chuffed with it. Right, this is a video for a Honda CRZ hybrid. This is the GT version, so top of the range car, with the leather and the panoramic roof that you see here. The car is registered ML60FWD. This video is a follow-on video to the one you hopefully have just seen, which was the walk-around video showing you the condition of the car and also the interior and service history of the vehicle. The purpose of this is a test in the very car you saw, and it's something that we do just to give people who are coming a long way to come see us a lot of confidence, and to know that if you're going to come and see the car, that the car at least drives exactly as it should. The mileage on the car currently has just turned over 80,000 miles now. It was on 79,000 when we bought the vehicle. It's literally just turned over. It's my fault really, because I used it at the weekend. It's a great car to drive. But just to go through the bits one by one that hopefully you'll want to know about when you come and see the car, before I talk about sort of more the features of the vehicle and the characteristics of it later on. So first things first, sorry about that. Engine starts absolutely first in the key. Very sweet, very quiet. It sounds exactly as it should. There's nothing to worry about that at all, and it pulls beautifully. The gearbox, likewise, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, which I'll go on about more in due course, but exactly as it should be. Clutch is light as a feather, bites really positively, so again, can't fault it. Brakes, solid as rock. We've just put new brake pads on the back because they were on the low side, so the brakes are really strong indeed. Everything else, the steering, the chassis, really tight, really crisp. There's no strange noises, no clonks, no bangs, no rattles, nothing from underneath the car. It's been very well looked after, so it doesn't come as a huge surprise to us. But it really is, it's a really tight car. I've had 2 or 3 of these personally. I had one of the very first ones, so I've got a fair bit of experience with the cars. The one I had first of all, it'd done about 12,000 miles, so it really was a very, very new car. And to be perfectly honest with you, I couldn't feel a difference between this car and that car. It drives absolutely perfectly. So if you're coming a long way, you can be utterly reassured that the car drives exactly as it should. There's a bit of a background into CRZ if you don't know a lot about them. Obviously it is a hybrid car, so we're looking at a 1.5 litre engine, Honda engine, which is a really lovely typical Honda engine, sort of really buzzy and busy in the way it goes about its business. Really kind of got a lot of character to it. Really, really nice. On top of that, you've got this, what they call integrated motor assist, which is the hybrid system. That gives you extra performance through the battery on the car. You don't do anything, there's no plug-in motors, nothing silly like that. You don't have to charge it, it can't run out. It does it all for you, so every time you hit the brake pedal or you coast or back off, it's regenerating the whole time, and when you need it, it gives you a load of extra oomph to get you on your way. Also, when you're sat in traffic, as you may notice a couple of times I do stop, the engine auto stops and fires up straight away and will just stay utterly silently. It's a very clever system. We've never ever touched them mechanically. They're incredibly reliable cars. One of the most reliable Hondas we've ever come across. So no, there's no issues at all to worry about on that. Honda claim 60 plus to the gallon on the cars, which it is achievable. The reality is, I tend to get about 50 to the gallon. I just leave it in sport mode the whole time, and that seems to me to be the best way to drive the car and get the maximum enjoyment out of it, because that's what the car's about. It's such a dynamic little car. So basically, there is, on the side of the steering wheel just down to the right here, there's 3 buttons. The car, when you start it, will always go into what they call normal mode. So if I press normal now, it says normal on the dashboard, little green hue around the speedo there. So this is basically kind of a mid-range. It's going to give you sort of a nice throttle response, but it's going to optimize more towards economy than ultimate performance. You can press the bottom one and that goes into full economy mode. So that what it's going to do is going to really soften the throttle response on the car. The steering is very light, ideal for kind of around town. It's going to really try and use as much battery over engine as possible to maximize fuel economy. And in this mode, yes, you can achieve sort of 60 plus to the gallon out of the car. If you put it onto sport mode, it's not just a gimmick. Basically, the throttle response changes completely to much more instant, and the steering weights up noticeably, and it totally transforms the car into a car that you really, really want to be driving. You've got this lovely snappy throttle response. So I'm going to move the locking wheel like here, put it there because it's going to rattle about. The whole car just transforms from something that's a very nice economical car to what it should be, which is a little sporty coupe. And then you get to have fun because that's what this car is all about. You've got a really dynamic chassis. It's very comfortable, but it's also incredibly precise and fun with it. You go through the corners and it's a real hoot. It holds its line beautifully. It's got really good body control when you turn into the corner. The whole car comes together at that point. You've got the engine, the chassis, the brakes, the steering all come together as one. It's just a really, really fun place to be. But on top of that, which I really love about this car, is the gearbox. It is one of Honda's very, very best. It's very short in throw. It's got a lovely synchro mesh, real kind of solid gear change. The most similar gearbox to this one from the Honda family certainly would be the Honda S2000. I'm not going to claim it's as good as that one. I still rate that as probably the best gearbox in the world for a manual gear change. but this runs at a very close second. It's a really lovely, short, crisp shift, but it's very solid in the way it changes. It's got a lovely mechanical feel to it. It's not sort of lightweight and artificial, which you get with some gear changes. It feels as though you're going straight into the box, which you're not, which is where it's so clever. You know, with the S2000, it's going directly into the gearbox, which is why the gear change is so precise and so good. This one obviously is going into the gearbox under the engine bay, so it will be running cables, I guess, to the box itself. But they've done a fantastic job in engineering one of the nicest gear changes of all. Because, you know, at any time, just a flick of the gear lever, and utter confidence, you'll always find the gear you want. So if you're hustling it around a country lane, having a bit of fun in the car, and you really need to sneak down a couple of gears, you'll find your way home every time. But yeah, it's a really lovely car to drive. On top of that, you've got a really lovely interior, and you know, if you enjoy your driving and just want to concentrate on driving, it's a great place to be, because again, not dissimilar to the S2000, which is probably where they drew a lot of their inspiration. Around on either side, symmetrically, you've got very similar dials and very similar controls, and it's fingertip away, so you can just press buttons really simply, really easily. So ergonomically, it's a really nice dashboard. Inside, the center display is really clever and really nice. It's got this almost like hologram style floating dial, so the middle, the one you really want to see your speed, you can instantaneously take in that information. And around the outside of that, you've got a lovely crystal clear rev counter, and then on either side you've got your hybrid information on the left hand side, and on the right hand side things like the fuel gauge, current fuel economy, and an information display system as well. But it's all put together in this really nice dashboard of very, very high quality. You know, when you think this has done 80,000 miles now, you know, it's held together unbelievably well. I can't see anywhere on the dash at all. What they've gone for is kind of a very textured look on the dashboard, which in a lot of ways reminds me of the Honda aren't always the best at getting kind of interior colours and combinations right, but on this one they've really gone to town. It does look like they may have copied BMW a little bit, because they've gone kind of for that look and effect, and it's all the better for it, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're not the best, then copy the best. But these are the lanes the car really excels on. It's lovely, really great car. It's really surprising just how good. I mean, it's very sharp handling, the steering is incredibly quick, but just how good the ride is amongst it. Because again, you know, Honda can be criticised for, you know, the ride can be too hard on some of their cars or too soft. They really have worked on this one and got the compromise, which is what it always is, pretty much spot on. So what's nice is when you sort of turn into corners, even sharp ones like this, there's virtually no body roll at all, but you've actually got quite a compliant ride with it as well. So those that probably know their CRZs will know that they came in two levels of trim, and you've got the Sport, certainly on the early ones, the Sport and the GT models. We sell predominantly the GT model, just because it's a higher spec car, and it's a really lovely spec. You know, you've got auto lights, auto wipers, you've got this lovely glass panoramic roof, which adds a lot of light into the car on, you know, lovely days like today. But you've got the really comfortable leather seats. They're heated. You've got two heat settings on the heater there as well. You get, you know, power folding wing mirrors. It's a really nicely specified car. both myself and Tony, who own the company, used to work for the local Bristol Honda dealership, and that's why we sell predominantly Honda. 90% of our stock is Honda. You know, we've become a specialist in them, and you know, they serve us well because we have virtually no problems at all. So it's nice as a garage to be able to sort of run like that. But they're great cars, and we've been, you know, fully supported. We've got a very good relationship with the Honda garage, who you know, ex-colleagues of ours still work. So we've got a mine of information from them, and they're a fantastic garage to work alongside. So what is, I think the road test is pretty much complete. If I've missed anything out, then I do apologise. If there's something that you need to ask, then please do either call us or email us. But other than that, just to reiterate, if you're coming a long way and you know what you're buying, then you'll be utterly delighted in this particular example. I genuinely can't fault the car, and I don't think you will either if you come and see it and drive it.